Welcome everybody to today's webinar, where we'll be talking about realizing our powers of creation. Now, since we are all created as empowered beings, why is it that some of us are high achievers and others struggle to get by? How can some continuously attract success while others find it so difficult? Success, happiness, and fulfillment are not reserved just for the precious few, but in fact, there's something we can all experience. And today we're going to learn how we can use meditation and our power of thought and creativity to manifest whatever it is we seek from life. We will learn to create, we will learn to manifest, and achieve all our goals in life. So for the next few minutes, let's go on a fun journey together. I think the whole concept of creativity is something we've all been exposed to, we are familiar with, but today let's go deep into creativity. And let's understand creativity from the way we were created and made, what faculties we derived, and then towards the end of the class, we will learn through meditation how we can use our own powers of creation. So I'm going to take you through a short journey where I think the whole concept of our creativity will unfold, hopefully, in as simple a form as possible. So creativity is the ability to conceive and bring into existence that which does not exist. So something doesn't exist today, but we conceive it in our minds and we create it using our creativity. And creativity is born from thought. And this thought can either be an inspiration that comes from much higher levels of our superconsciousness, or a thought born in the higher echelons of our mind. Now, the birth of this creative thought triggers a chain of additional thoughts which trigger events that cause whatever it is we seek to create, they cause it to manifest in our material world. So that's a broad definition or broad understanding of creativity, and now we will explore it further. Now, when we talk about creation, we immediately default to the creator as being responsible for all creation. Yes, it is true. At the end of the day, that is the ultimate source of creation. But in our material world, creation occurs at the hands of ordinary people like you and me all the time. We are vehicles of creation. We are instruments of creation. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but you and I and all of us are constantly creating something or the other. Every moment of our lives, every moment we are creating something or the other. Therefore, we are constant creators in this realm, in this material world. We are constant creators. Start thinking of yourself as a constant creator, and let's explore how. Because each one of us is blessed with the power of thought, which we exercise to create ideas. And with these ideas, we then create and manifest our ideas in our material world. And so they drive events and experiences, and as our ideas manifest into creation, we cause so many new things to happen. Remember, in karma, cause and effect, we become the cause of so much through our creation, and that's how life works. Now, without being constant creators in this material life, the whole world would not work. If we weren't constant creators, this world would not work. Because we are the basis of creating experience, of making life work. Now, creation can be very simple or very complex. Creation can also be driven by many causes, simple or complex. So let's start with the simple ones. Firstly, we have the basic, organic, self-driven cause of creation. And let's look at those examples. So you wake up in the morning and you make yourself a nice hot cup of tea or coffee in the morning. We all do. But this drink did not exist until you thought about it. You thought about making it, and then you went ahead and made it. So you created this cup of tea that did not exist. Okay? And then you drank it and you enjoyed it. So creation and manifestation. Very simple. Making a cup of tea. You take one step which is a little more complex. Say you have friends coming home for dinner, and you're a good chef. So you put together the finest cuisine with so many different dishes, and you use your creativity to lay out a fantastic spread. That spread did not exist, but you brought it into existence. You created it and you manifested it, and everybody enjoyed it with you. So that's more than making one cup of tea. Then we take a slightly more complicated form of creation. Let's say your daughter were getting married. And so you bring together the best chefs, entertainers, wedding planners from everywhere, and you create an amazing party, an amazing event, which everybody thoroughly enjoys. All those elements of that party didn't exist. But once you set forward to create them and you brought all these people together, they all manifested into reality. That wedding happened. It was experienced by so many, and its benefits reached so many more people, from the suppliers to the caterers to everybody. So you see, your basic creativity made life happen for so many. Now, these are simple, basic, organic forms of creativity which are driven by your wants. You want to do something, you make it happen. Then there is another dimension that drives creation, which is a greater dimension, which is problems. Problems come our way and cause us to create solutions. Life is filled with problems. We all face problems all the time. Many people think problems are a bad thing, but actually, problems are essential to make life happen. They are essential to force us to create solutions. Remember, we are all constant creators. So problems are the engine of creation. Without problems, our world would not exist, because there would be nothing to create our experiences. So problems are an important and an integral part of driving life. If you have no oxygen, you don't survive. If you don't face problems, life stops for you and everyone else, because there is nothing created to be experienced. So remember, in the class of karma, we talked about cause and effect and how it drives the endless chain of life's events. You take away the problems, you take away the cause, leaving no effect, and therefore no chain of events, and therefore nothing to live for or experience. Think about problems from this perspective, because they are extremely important in our lives. Now let us look at a few examples of a small range of problems and solutions. Let us take a simple problem, for example. A tap in your home starts to leak, and you shut it off, and then you go and buy the parts you need, and you come back and you fix the tap, and the leakage stops. You created a solution. But your solution feeds a chain of people around the world, from the people who mine the metal for the piece you bought, to the people in the supply chain, to the people in shipping, who sell them, the distributors. So your creation of fixing that tap drives lives all over the place without you even realizing. But you had to have that problem to drive those things that other people are living. That way you are living a result of the solutions others are creating for their problems. So your problem and your creation and its solution drives life. Now let us take a more complex problem. Let us say you're the manager of a factory. and your staff goes on strike. And you plan to create a whole blend of solutions which works, and you ultimately stop the strike. So you created a multifaceted solution to your problem. And these solutions drive the lives of countless people around the world in ways you cannot even imagine. You faced a problem, you created a solution, you made life happen for so many. Now, there's a darker side to it too. During wars between countries, scientists were forced and pushed to create more and more destructive weapons. And today, through their creativity, we have weapons of mass destruction. The original problem was one of protection. And now these creations are used for all kinds of dark purposes. So where they created weapons to protect themselves, their creations are out of control. The problem was the war, and the solutions were created to fuel destruction. So this impacts countless lives again through a whole chain of events, from the people suffering the negative consequences of war and damage and loss of life and loss of property. But it also has positive effects for those who are in the arms trade, for those who are making materials for the arms. So it's all creation driven in all directions because of our creativity. So we have to understand the power of our creation and how we use it. And it can be used for positive as well as negative outcomes. Today, we have large teams of scientists working all over the world to find a vaccine and treatments for COVID. So the problem was COVID. The solutions have driven all of humanity and the world of science to work in collaboration to find the cure and to find the vaccine. And so the net result is their creation is going to be very positive for everybody in this world. And I pray that that comes very soon. So there are also problems that drive very positive creations. The problems that the medical community have faced with COVID is going to actually revolutionize how medicine is delivered and practiced in the future, how it is funded, how that industry is managed. Everything is going to change because of the huge problem that came our way. If the problem didn't come, we wouldn't evolve. Life wouldn't happen. So these examples serve to demonstrate that each one of us plays a role in this world of being a constant creator. I think it's fantastic. And this makes life happen for everyone else. And I'd never thought of myself as a constant creator, but hey, it's true. All of us are. And now once we accept this role, from the basics of breathing oxygen and producing carbon dioxide, which becomes a food source for plants, even that we are creating, to producing creations organically driven by our wishes and wants, and to creating solutions to our problems that come our way, all these things combined, whatever the causes are, make us constant creators. Now let us examine what makes a good constant creator. So this is an interesting situation. What makes a good constant creator? So let's all become a fly on the wall and listen to a conversation between a group of highly intelligent angels who have been tasked with designing the mind of the best constant creator, the human mind. While another task force is designing the body and other elements. So we're going to listen to the mind developers, the cool guys. And my favorite angels, Cyrus and Luminous, are amongst the cool guys. So I'm going to tell you about how they develop the human mind. So each angel approaches the mind design from a particular angle. Let's listen to a few of their angles. So Angel Cyrus says, let's call this human mind prototype 1, and let's give it a female gender to start with. I think they chose the female mind because it's far more complex, interesting, and sophisticated than the male mind. Sorry, guys, but I think it's true. And Angel Cyrus says, we have to place a very potent power of thought in this human being. she must be able to use this power to create events and experiences. So Cyrus says, let's give thought life. So when she thinks, she gives birth to living seeds that flow from her to the minds of others like her, germinating and creating actions and activities and events that ultimately come back to her in the form of learning and knowledge. So they grant life to her power of thought. So all angels agree, and the human being is granted with the power of living thought. We all have it. The second goal was that through her power of thought, she must be given the ability to create material objects of all kinds. So Cyrus says this should enable her to use her thoughts to create ideas which can be acted upon to create material objects and non-material situations. So they are sharpening her abilities to create. So she should be able to make what doesn't exist through this power of creativity. And this could be anything from creating her food or drink or means of transport to supplying of all her requirements to live in this material world. She should be able to do this because she wants to. Remember, wants to. So Angel Luminous is now excited that, hey, we're getting somewhere. So he chimes in and says, let's put power in her wants. Let's energize her power of thought with motivation. The more motivated she is, the greater her powers will become. And Angel Cyrus says, excellent, and now let's throw in commitment as well to this power. And Angel Santos says, let us turbocharge this thought with focus and discipline. And so the human mind was now developed with turbocharged elements of power of thought, motivation, commitment, focus, discipline. So the angels are doing very well. Then the next goal was that through her power of thought, she must have the ability to solve problems and create her way out of the problems. Then Angel Cyrus says, let's add a whole arsenal of problems and challenges in her life, in the form of problems and needs. This will drive her to become a powerful creator for herself and hence for all other human beings. So the angels get together and craft a myriad of problems, challenges, and needs that forces the human being to create her way out of these problems in the form of solutions, whether they be perfect or imperfect, whatever they may be. So her only way forward in life is to keep creating her way out of her problems. She is a constant creator. So Luminous says that she will need help because these problems may need a very wide capacity of thought, which we haven't put in. So they add higher levels of intelligence, a sharp memory, wisdom, communication skills, planning, multitasking skills, and more. And after a long design sessions, the angels feel that they have designed the optimum human mind. So they make a presentation to the Creator on prototype 1. And he listens to them carefully. And after they have presented to him prototype 1, the Creator says, you have designed a fine human mind from what I can see. The lower level mind to sustain himself or herself in the material world, and a higher level mind filled with more intelligence. But I want this being connected with me through his or her power of thought, not just through the soul. I want them to be able to connect with me through their thought. So the Creator endows the human being with an intellect and a superconscious mind with 10 faculties. And we have learned 6 out of them, and today is the 7th one. Gosh, we're coming to an end of this series. So the first faculty was the light faculty. Then he endowed with infinite intelligence, then the knowledge faculty, the thought faculty, the karmic, essence, creative faculty, which we are talking about today. And then he added in the harmony, cosmic, and equilibrium faculty, and he rounded off the superconscious mind and made this being very, very powerful. So the angels humbly say to the Creator, we accept your decision as being for the best, but may we ask you a question? And the Creator grants them permission. So Cyrus, on behalf of his team, says, we worry that this will make the human being way too powerful. So the Creator hears his concerns, ignores it, and continues. And says, we are not done with the project yet. We are going to empower this being with the power of choice. I will agree with the soul on what learning it decides or wills to achieve from its life in the material world. I will agree with it and accept this learning as its soul bond. I will bless it so that its karmic compass will deliver it to all the experiences it needs to accomplish this soul bond. But now, this power of choice will also come into play. It can either strengthen or weaken this being, depending on how this power of choice is used. But I am granting the human being this power of choice. Furthermore, we are going to sharpen the creativity that you have placed in the human mind. It's not good enough. So we're going to sharpen it to a level where this being can use his or her superconscious faculties to create and manifest whatever they wish, be it material or non-material. Now the angels are seriously perplexed, they are concerned, because this being is getting way too powerful. And the Creator kept placing more and more capabilities in it. And the Creator is not done yet. He says we're also going to give this being the power of faith. Because when he or she goes into the world, a veil will be placed over the mind that you have designed, which will hide me and you and all of us from their view. We will be hidden. So this power of faith is a seed that will grow in each being. Faith in something they cannot see or hear or feel, but yet they will be made aware of its existence through scriptures, teachers, guides, and tradition. I will help enlighten those who build on this power of faith. They will be connected with me in a very special way, through a golden chain with which I will bring them closer and closer to me as they exercise their power of faith. And this power of faith will be greater than any power you have placed in their mind. Now, power of faith doesn't necessarily mean a given religion. It's that conviction that you and your Creator, your source, however you perceive your Creator, but that faith that you are from the greatest source, that's power of faith. The Creator says, I will use that as a golden chain to bring them closer and closer to me. So faith is a massive blessing. It's a power, like we have power of choice. We have power of creativity. We have power of faith. Treat faith as a power. So he tells the angels that this faith, this power of faith is greater than any power you have placed in this being. But he says, with this faith, they can use it to move mountains and achieve anything the human being wishes to achieve. But I'm going to make it difficult for them. Because this is not a free gift. It must be earned. And the rewards will be immeasurable. So when it comes to their faith, their power of choice can either help them or weaken them, depending on how it is used. So power of choice comes to play in so many places. Creativity can create positive or dark things. In faith, it can weaken us or strengthen us. So this power of choice is something we've got to really think about. So these angels are now terrified. They say this being could become unstoppable by exercising the right choices. Now the Creator knew what they were thinking, and he said, look, we will endow these beings with emotions, powerful ones, like love, happiness, contentment, peace, confidence, and more. And these emotions will play the finest music in their beings like the perfect orchestra. These emotions will enrich their experience in the material world in countless ways. And I know you're worried that I have made the human being too powerful and close to me. So to address your concerns, I will also add emotions of fear, apprehension, and worry in them. And these are illusions that do not really exist, because these illusions will all reside in a future that may or may not transpire. But these emotions will become a considerable source of weakness to this most powerful creation I have made. Because even though we know they are not real, the human being will come to believe in them if they let it be so. Their perception of reality will be dominated by them if they let it be so. So the angels were now a little more relaxed, that with one single stroke, the Creator had placed illusionary weaknesses in us and controlled the power of the being completely. The Creator then said he would give the human beings inspirations through the subconscious mind. And he would enable the being to invoke thoughts in the form of prayer that would reach the ears of the Creator instantaneously. So he's adding even more capabilities. So now the angels had before them a new constant Creator, which is us. But they still had a few more things to do before getting the project approved. So they go back to their design center and try and finish this perfect constant Creator prototype with a few more refined edges. Bearing in mind that the being they now had before them was orders of magnitude more powerful than the one they had started with, the teams began designing the body and physical aspect of the material world in this workshop as well. So other angels joined in. And because this being had been weakened with fear, apprehension, worry, that the Creator had thrown a major curveball in the power of this being, they decided to help this new constant Creator by adding some more final positive refinements. So fully believing in the principle of diversity is strength, they all collectively added some more positive features. They made human beings of a diverse range of colors and appearances, very diverse. They introduced culture, traditions, richness of history, and more. They infused art, music, philosophy into the human being. Cyrus said, let us infuse humanities in them and empower them through their diversities. This way they will strengthen each other because of their diversity. And let us anchor their absolute strength through their pluralism, which is basically a fusion of all the richnesses of their diversities. When you fuse all richnesses of diversities, that is pluralism. So rather than creating robots that only practiced complex creation through sciences of all types, they balanced us beautifully with art, culture, music, humanities, and everything through pluralism. They were now convinced that they had developed the excellent human being, and they had paved the way now for our education to include all these rich pluralistic dimensions. So they go back to the Creator, and the project is immediately approved. He likes the design. But as the angels are leaving, feeling very happy with themselves, the Creator reminds them, he says, these beings have been endowed with power of choice and power of creation. And they have been infused with traits of fear, worry, and apprehension. These elements alone can wreck your entire project with outcomes you had never imagined possible. And so be it. And Cyrus, Luminous, and Santos, and the whole team are watching us today with horror, as through our power of choice, we have destroyed pluralism and replaced it with racism, destroyed unity and replaced it with individualism. We have used our powers of creation and manifestation to create weapons of mass destruction and numerous other weapons to intimidate each other. We let loose our choices to breed greed, selfishness, neglect, harm, creating a world that none of these well-meaning angels had ever imagined possible. So the Creator knew what he was talking about when he gave us these powers of choice and creativity, plus the attributes like fear. So today when things go wrong, we all say, where is God? My dear friends, what we see in this world is entirely making of our own creation. We can't do everything we do and then choose God to blame for our actions. We must be responsible for our actions and we should take the consequences. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, he says, the omnipresent does not partake in the virtue or sin of anyone. I'll repeat that. The omnipresent does not partake in the virtue or sin of anyone. So we have all been blessed with all these faculties and intelligence. If we do good or bad with it, the Creator is not party to that. It is our show. Today, we as humanity have used our creativity and choice in both positive and negative ways. It's not only negative. But this has made our world a very interesting place. And I'm convinced that if we choose to, we can use our power of creativity and thought to fix all the messes we have created. So, my dear friends, here we are. You now understand the roles of creativity in its different dimensions. You understand the roles of problems and solutions. And you understand the basis for us being the way we are. Powerful beings limited by our own selves. Powerful beings limited by our own selves. Now you can understand the makeup of us. And it's important for us to understand this makeup as we move into the next stage of how we use our creativity. So let's move to the final part of today's class. How do we use our creativity and superconscious mind to manifest whatever it is we seek to manifest? I said a moment ago that we can use our power of creativity, thought, and intellect to clean up the mess we have created. Let's reflect on some of our options. I'll suggest a few to you to consider. The world's greatest thought leaders and spiritual beings are constantly urging us to embrace pluralism and celebrate and use our diversity as our greatest strength. All the wise souls, enlightened souls in this world encourage us and point out to us the strength of our diversity. So let's start doing that consciously and in a fully committed manner, which includes sharing our thoughts and knowledge with others. Don't fight the ignorant. Educate them because they do not know what you know. Let us balance our education and that of our children with arts, humanities, literature, music, philosophy. For example, we can all become well-rounded, constant creators, well-rounded with arts, humanities, literature, music, philosophy. And we don't just become robots that only create in one dimension, which is a sad waste of a lifetime. So if we all just develop science and create focused, myopic solutions, waste of a lifetime. We are constant creators. We need to be properly rounded. After all, those angels went back to the drawing board and put all these really nice refinements in us. Where are they? Some of us are using them. Others have forgotten they exist. Time for us to revisit that drawing board and make our lives richer for that and make ourselves better constant creators. And listening to the angels and the Creator, we also know our weaknesses. So we can start by working to dispel our weaknesses, fear, worry, living in the past, worrying about the future. We can dispel all these because they rob us of our present, where we are most powerful. So let's consciously work to detach from them, and we have all learned techniques to do that. And since we recognize how each human being was created equal, let's live with that consciousness of equality. So we should seek to change our polarized world of the extremely rich minority and the impoverished majority. How can we do that? I mean, this may sound utopian, but it is possible. We can, if we will. We have the power of creation and creativity, the power of thought to shift and cause a change. Because it's not right that wealth is polarized in the hands of a few when the masses and majority are totally impoverished. So we can do things in small steps to change that. First, we can use our democratic right to effect the change. It's a long-term change, but we can start. But more importantly, we can share the resources of our knowledge, wealth, and skills to benefit the less privileged. We can work collectively as one humanity to eliminate poverty. If we eliminate poverty, we change so much. Human beings, the power of the human spirit blossoms when you take it out from the depths of darkness and poverty and put it in light. All these people who made it rich, wealthy, wherever they are today, they all started from somewhere down there. But what this does is it creates a larger majority of those enlightened people with opportunity, and the whole balance begins to find itself again. Very possible. We should educate and inspire others to join us in the journey of sharing. We should educate the ignorant with love and compassion, so as to bridge the barriers that exist between the peoples of this world, be it as a result of faith, economic structure, culture, traditions, whatever it is. We can bridge these barriers through healthy, positive dialogue and communication, sharing of knowledge, using common platforms of art and music and philosophy and all those nice things we were rounded off with by Cyrus and Luminous and team. We should use our power of spirituality and prayer to invoke positive change through this avenue. Now, we as a group, I'm really glad to say, are actually doing something about this every other Saturday. And we are sharing in that sharing of hope meditations. And I'm so glad and so proud and so grateful that you're all joining us in large numbers to give of yourselves, of your spirituality, of your focus for the betterment of others. And still, a lot remains to be done. But each one of us can take a lead in that direction. We may be a group of 400, 500, 600 people, but our impact can spread. We can inspire others. We can take lead, and this whole change can happen. A negative shift can occur very fast, and so can a positive. And in our master classes to date, we have learned so many techniques to build our focus through stillness, clarity, detachment, oneness, and linkage. All these techniques place us squarely in the present where we are empowered, truly empowered. So we have learned also in the last class on essence how to engage with the material and eternal present. Where we are truly at our most potent level, we've learned these techniques, and let us use these techniques for greater change. Do not underestimate the power of our spiritual force. When we engage at that level, we can shift mountains. We absolutely can. And we should together. Now today we will learn how to use meditation to energize our creative faculty and help us manifest whatever it is we seek to manifest. This is a very huge power that we possess. And today we will, in complete humility, learn how to use it. Many of us have used it unknowingly through power of thought. But today, let us walk through the process. And I wish to share some knowledge and insights with you today about the tree of creativity. Now, the tree of creativity is a very special tree where we can give birth to thoughts of creation in this tree. We have learned about inspiration. We have learned about invocation. And now today we will learn how to work with the thought of creation, which is the third powerful pillar. Inspiration was the first one. Invocation was the second one. And we shared the audio book on art of prayer through meditation, where we invoke. And today we are going to learn how to use the thought of creation. And using the tree of creativity that we are all connected to at the highest levels of our consciousness. Now remember how we learned about the levels of thought through the example of the young coconut. I'm sure you've all seen that video, and the producers very nicely put images of the coconut and the kernel and the water. Do revisit that. It's the video on Faculty of Knowledge. Revisit that. But let me just repeat that example of the coconut in a few seconds. So we had the outer fibrous shell, which was the lower level mind. And then the inner kernel with the white cream, that's the higher level mind. And then there is the water in the center of the coconut, which is the most powerful level. And where the water meets the cream, the white cream, that is the intellect. So we have the lower level mind in the fibrous outer shell. We have the higher level mind in the kernel and the cream. We have the intellect, which borders the water. And then we have the water, which is the highest level of our being. And it is in this water, this level, where inspirations are received and invocations are offered. Very powerful level. And we can give birth to thoughts of creation at this level. So we have all accessed this level twice. Now today we will access it for a third time. Let's learn how to do this. So let's visualize the tree of creativity for a moment. What does it look like? And I saw this beautiful vision of this tree, and it was somewhat different to what I had read, because the tree of creation and the tree of creativity is described in many scriptures. But what I saw was somewhat different. And it looks like a very old tree whose roots go deep within the earth. But some of the roots come out from the earth and rise up towards becoming like branches. So you've got this tree, you've got the roots going down, and some of the roots are coming above the soil, coming upwards. And then at the top of the tree, its branches go all the way out into the universes. But some of these branches also come back down towards the earth and meet the roots, forming beautiful circles where the branch and the root unite. They form beautiful circles of this tree. Now, this tree, as I said, is mentioned in various scriptures, but in varying forms. Now, at the apex of this tree, so you're looking at the tree and you look at the top, there is an almond-shaped oval sphere at the apex. It almost looks like an eye, which is filled with light. And all the branches of the tree emerge from this eye. This is called the sphere of creation. So the sphere at the top of the tree, from where all the branches emerge, is called the sphere of creation. And it's like an eye, but it's filled with light. So this is where we give birth to seed thoughts of creation. The sphere of creation lies beyond the material world. It's well beyond, but we can access it. And then at the base of the tree, as you come down to the trunk, at the base of the tree, you have another sphere which is just below the soil, which looks the same as the sphere of creation, but it's under the soil. And this is called the sphere of manifestation, which is in our world, in our three-dimensional world. So that's the sphere of manifestation. So when we invoke or when we give birth to thoughts of creation in the apex, in the sphere of creation, we bring that thought down to the sphere of manifestation so that it can take form in our material world. That's how the tree of creativity works. We create in the sphere of creation, we bring that powerful thought to the sphere of manifestation, which is of our material world, and it manifests, whether it be in physical objects, material objects, events, situations, everything. You can manifest and create through this tree of creativity, and we're going to learn how to do it. Now, the leaves of this tree look like palm leaves, and they just hang off the branches, just gently hang off the branches. It's a very unique and beautiful tree that exudes immense wisdom. So try and visualize this tree that I'm talking about, And as I said earlier, that we can give birth to seed thoughts of creation in the sphere of creation at the apex of the tree. But when we give birth to a seed thought, it must be with purity of purpose. Our purpose must be pure. And remember, nothing is guaranteed, because finally the manifestation, whether it happens or not, is in the Creator's grace. We must always remember that. So nothing is guaranteed. However, we must also remember that He has given us the powers to create. And we must use these powers very wisely and with complete humility. So that's the mindset we're going to approach the tree of creativity with. How we frame our thought of creation is also very important. For example, some people who are in pursuit of creating love and marriage, they seek to create it, but then they go to every party or place of opportunity with the goal of finding the perfect man or woman. No, that's very limiting, because you may leave the party not achieving that objective, and you will also miss making all the great friends you could have made. And in that way, maybe discovered what you were looking for. So don't limit yourself in your thought of creativity, your thought of creation. Create wisely, and then let the universe decide how your manifestation will occur. You create and you manifest, but the how part, stay out of it. So you simply have to create the purpose, which is pure, and you have to seek to manifest it in the sphere of manifestation, in the tree of creativity. Leave the rest to the Creator, to the universe, to your superconscious mind, to your karmic compass, as to how, when, where, and in what form it will manifest. Stay out of that process. Otherwise, you'll seriously limit yourself. For example, let's go back to the example of people who are looking for love and marriage. So let's say you're looking for your soulmate. And all of us in this world, crave for that finding of our soulmate, finding of that love. It's a blessing. So you create friendship, companionship, and a happy life with your soulmate. That's the thought of creation you place in the sphere of creation. Friendship, companionship, and a happy life with your soulmate. That's your core purpose. Then you come down and you manifest it in the sphere of manifestation. But that's it. Do not try to force it through mental direction. Once you place that in the sphere of manifestation, step back. Go forward with the faith and the strength of knowledge that you've used your power of creation and it's going to manifest for you. But stay out of the how part. Now, let's look at a few more examples of thoughts of creation. Say you want to progress in your business or career, and you want to create new opportunities. We are all reaching crossroads at different points in our lives and in our careers, and we are looking for new opportunities. So then, this is something which is very reasonable to use your power of creation for, where your purpose will be to learn more, to meet new people, to receive new experiences, and to gain more abundance. It's a pure purpose, and it's your right to seek that. So you seek that in the sphere of creation and bring it down to the sphere of manifestation, and then let it happen for you and let new doors open for you, because you're going to cause it to manifest. Or let's say you are alone and you are seeking to enter into a loving relationship, which will fulfill you, help you grow and blossom. This is another pure purpose. I know of a young lady who had many years of struggle, and it was very hard for her to come out of this blockage of flow of resources in her life. She's a lovely woman. She was looking for companionship. She was looking for her soulmate. She was looking to have a family. And she created that. And it manifested for her within a year. She met and married a wonderful guy. Her cycle of abundance began to flow. She has a lovely family. She's happy as ever. But she sought that creation of a change in her life with complete humility and purity of purpose. And it manifested for her. So it does work. And be careful what you seek to create. Create it with wisdom and let it manifest and enrich your life, because you have that power of creation. Another example is that you find it very difficult to wake up at 4 a.m. for your meditation because you're always overcome by sleep. So many of you have said that to me, and I listen, and my response is always to pray for you, that you do find that strength to wake up and be present at the hour of enlightenment. Now you can create that awakening and strength and commitment and manifest it. You can. So in today's meditation, instead of focusing on anything material, we will practice this creation and manifestation to strengthen our spiritual journey. That's what we will meditate on today. To empower ourselves to wake up at 4 at the hour of enlightenment, be completely ready with a clear mind and engage in our linkage thought and flow into the light. We will seek to create that capability because it's a very pure purpose. So you can choose whatever creative thoughts you wish and manifestations of your own. But remember, purity of purpose is important. Now here is how the tree of creativity works. And I'll just repeat it before the meditation. So you use the spheres at both ends. You start by reaching the apex of the tree, where you give birth to your thoughts of creation. Once you've done that, you flow down the tree in the river of light to the sphere of manifestation, which lies at the bottom of the tree, just below the soil. And you manifest your creative thought here, so that it manifests in our material world, which is why it is symbolically below the soil surface, just below. So, in today's meditation, we will learn to create the awakening at the hour of enlightenment. So now, I'd like you to sit back, relax, close your eyes, and breathe freely. Breathe completely freely. Because in today's meditation, we are going to seek awakening. We're going to seek to create awakening at the hour of enlightenment, which is in the early hours of the morning when the energies of the earth are at very low level. This is the time when we can achieve the sharpest focus and clarity in our meditation. Of course, the energy levels being low also means we find it hard to wake up. So we are going to seek to create awakening within ourselves. So sit back, relax, and breathe freely. Be completely relaxed, completely at peace. And I'd like you to imagine that you're walking through a beautiful forest. But this is a forest that is not dense. Yes, there are lots of trees, but you can see the clear blue sky above you. You can see the sunlight reaching the earth. It's bright, it's beautiful. There's lots of trees, plants, beautiful flowers hanging off creepers on some of the trees. The morning sun is shining above the forest. Birds flying in the air, chirping away. And you are taking a nice, peaceful walk in this forest. There's a nice, wide path for you to walk. So nothing obstructs your route, nothing obstructs your way. Take a moment and look at this beautiful forest. Look at the trees, tall, majestic trees with luscious green leaves. The flowers on the creepers along these trees. The grass on the earth. The blue sky and rays of the morning sun that lighten up your path. Take a moment and look at it. And you keep walking in this forest, happy, at peace, filled with life, because everything around you is so full of life. You are life. So you are in oneness with all the life that is around you as you walk. You are in oneness with everything. And then as you keep walking slowly up a small gradual hill, you reach a lake. A beautiful lake filled with crystal clear water. And it is on the side of the road you're walking on the path you're walking on. It is to your right hand side. And you stop and you look at the lake. And the water is crystal clear, sparkling in the morning sunlight. There's rocks along the borders of the lake. There's some rocks that outcrop from the water. And you look at this water, and because of the wind, it has some small ripples. And the water looks so nice and inviting that you step in the water until you reach knee deep. And you look at the water below you, and it is dancing slowly in the wind. Small ripples with beautiful rhythms. But you wish the water to become still, completely still. And so you look at the water and you repeat in your mind, stillness, stillness, stillness. Keep repeating the word stillness and watch the water go still before you. Stillness, stillness. And the water is gone completely still. It is totally still. And you can look at your face in the water, its reflection. The water is like a mirror. You can see the reflection of the clear blue, bright sunny sky above in the water. The lake has gone completely still. You have gone completely still. Stillness. 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 And then you repeat silence. 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 As the whole forest goes completely silent with you. Silence. silence. So the lake is completely still. You are stillness. The forest is silent. You are silence. 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 And then before you, you see some lotus flowers floating in the water. And the first flower is white in color. And that represents your material world. And you look at this white floating flower and repeat gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You offer deepest gratitude for your material world, for your life, for everything that is in it. Your loved ones, your families, your life's experiences, your ambitions, your hopes. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. And then you look at the next floating lotus flower, which is yellow. Beautiful yellow flower, floating on a nice wide green leaf. And this is your future. And you look at the future and repeat gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude for the hopes of your future. Gratitude for all that you can look forward to in your future. Gratitude for being able to experience the future if you are so blessed. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. And then the third lotus flower is the pinkish red one, which represents your past, your memories, your experiences, everything that has made you what you are today. And you repeat gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for the blessing of your past, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And now it's time for you to turn around and carry on with your journey. And you turn around and you walk out of the lake, leaving behind your world, the past, the future. And in your mind you're repeating detach, detach, detach. Detach from the world, detach from the past, detach from the future. You are now in the pure present, in a forest that's completely silent, and you're leaving behind you water that is completely still. You are stillness. You are silence. And you start walking up a small hill, repeating in your mind, oneness, oneness, oneness. You are one with the forest, you're one with the water, you're one with all creation. Oneness, oneness, oneness. And then you come in front of this beautiful old tree. This is the tree of creativity. Standing before you, majestic tree, exuding wisdom, pure wisdom. Look at this tree. Its trunk starts from the earth and goes high up towards the sky. Its roots go into the earth, but so many of them pop back out of the earth, trying to rise up towards the sky. When you look up, its branches flow into the universes, but many of them come down towards the earth to merge with the roots that have popped out of the soil. And you see so many beautiful circles formed by the union of the branch with the root. So many of them. And you look at this beautiful, intriguing tree of creativity, filled with wisdom. And at the base of the tree, you see a wonderful hollow. It's like the back of an armchair, and you're tired. So you turn around and you sit down at the foot of the tree and lean your back into this hollow. And with your eyes closed, you keep repeating oneness, oneness, oneness. And you merge into this tree, and all you can see now is light around you, pure, bright, warm, loving light, as you repeat oneness, oneness, oneness. You are in the tree of creativity, and there is a gentle river of light that flows up the tree, carrying you upwards, upwards, upwards up the tree, until you reach the sphere of creation, where you sit peacefully, surrounded by light all around you. This is the light of creation flowing through you, surrounding you. And you keep repeating oneness, oneness, oneness. You're in the sphere of creation, and you repeat oneness. You are one with the light in the tree, in the sphere of creation. You are one with all creation. Oneness. And in the presence of this light, in the sphere of creation, you repeat in your mind the words, create awakening. Create awakening. Create awakening. Keep repeating these words. Create awakening. Create awakening. Create awakening. Awakening of the body. Awakening of the mind. Awakening of the soul. Create awakening. Create awakening. Keep repeating that. Create awakening. Create awakening at the hour of enlightenment. Hour of enlightenment. Hour of enlightenment. Keep repeating these words. Hour of enlightenment. hour of enlightenment. Create awakening at the hour of enlightenment. Hour of enlightenment. You have now created the thought of awakening at the hour of enlightenment for your meditation, for your search of the light. And now you flow down the tree in the river of light and keep descending in the light until you reach its base, just below the soil, where you are now in the sphere of manifestation. This is where all that you create manifests in your material world. And in the light that is present in the sphere of manifestation, you repeat, manifest awakening. Manifest awakening. Manifest awakening. Keep repeating these words. Manifest awakening. Manifest awakening. Awakening of the body. Awakening of the mind. Awakening of the soul. Manifest awakening. Manifest awakening. Manifest awakening at the hour of enlightenment. Hour of enlightenment. Hour of enlightenment. Keep repeating hour of enlightenment. Manifest awakening at the hour of enlightenment. You have created the awakening for the hour of enlightenment in the sphere of creation. You have manifested awakening at the hour of enlightenment in the sphere of manifestation. You have brought your thought of creation down into this world, such that it will manifest into your presence at the hour of enlightenment, where you may search for your light, for your Creator. And in the coming days, we pray that we may all be able to achieve this, that it may manifest for all of us, for the rest of our lives. And we can now take a few moments to practice linkage. So continue to repeat in your mind oneness. 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 You are one with all creation. You are one with the light of creation. You are one with your tree of creativity. Oneness. Oneness. And then from the light you see the hand of a loving parent, which you, the child, with all your trust, take the hand and it leads you towards linkage into the light, where you repeat surrender, surrender, surrender. You surrender all control and leave it in the hands of your Creator to guide you forward. Surrender, surrender. And in the light you see this beautiful rose whose petals are glowing. And on each petal is your linkage word, which is the name of your source. A word that has either been given to you or a name you have chosen for your source. And you start repeating that word. As the petals of the rose close around you, surrounding you with light and your linkage word, and you repeat in that light your linkage word. I will use origin. You will use whatever word you have chosen. In a slow rhythm. O, re, gen. O, re, gen. O, re, gen. Take a few moments and repeat your linkage word. O, re, gen. O, re, gen. Keep repeating this word for a few more moments. Your linkage word. And in the presence of the light, we offer gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude for all the blessings we have received. The blessings of clean air, clean earth, clean water. All the resources and abundance we have been blessed with. Our family, loved ones, friends, all those who make our life fulfilled. Gratitude for the blessing of life itself. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And let your words of gratitude flow from you into the hearts and minds and souls of all creation. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And then you get up and walk away from the tree of creativity repeating in your mind gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to place your thought of creation, to create awakening at the hour of enlightenment. Gratitude for manifesting your thought of awakening at the hour of enlightenment. Gratitude for your world, for your past, for your future as you walk past the lake. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. The lake is still, very still. The forest is silent and ready to receive you when you open your eyes. So you may open your eyes whenever you wish. That was a truly blessed meditation, and I'd like to thank you all individually for bringing your light, bringing your energy, bringing your blessing to today's meditation. Please practice this meditation. We will try and get you recordings. We will try and do the audiobook as soon as we can. But please practice. And remember, what we created today was the thought of creation. At our human level, when we say be, which is in the sphere of creation, it becomes when it manifests. So be and it becomes. Because there is a period of time that it takes to become. So at our level today, we say be and it becomes. But as we rise in our meditation, as we achieve the highest levels of oneness and union with our Creator, at that point when we say be, it is. Because the element of time is gone. You are in the eternal present, where be and it is. So that should be our goal. But we've made a great start today. We all have learned a technique that will really empower us. Use this technique for whatever you wish to accomplish in your life. Think about it. Place your thought of creation in your tree of creativity, in the sphere of creativity, in the sphere of creation. Bring it down, manifest it in the sphere of manifestation. And then let the universe take over from you. And you will watch your life change in beautiful ways. You will begin to realize how empowered you are. You will begin to also realize that the illusions that the Creator placed in us of fear, apprehension, worry, all they are is illusions. We are empowered beings, and we will look forward to our future, and we will face whatever problems and challenges come, because problems make life happen, and we are constant creators. So let's become the best constant creators, deserving of this lifetime, deserving of everything we've been graced with. So with that, Tosin, let's take some questions, yeah?
Okay, we've got a first question here. It says, thank you for the perspective on karma and prayers. Further clarification, if the person did not learn his karmic lesson due to mistakes or bad choices based on others' prayers after they leave the physical plane?
Okay, so one of the important points to recognize is that with karma, you come to this world making your soul bond with your Creator, as you remember from the class.
Yeah.
Now, your karmic compass is set, and you begin to live your life in accordance with all the experiences that are coming your way. If through exercise of your power of choice, you are unable to complete what you sought to complete, and you pass on, then several things can happen. And one of them is obviously you keep on your journey and you achieve another opportunity and you complete the journey of your soul. Now, once you have left this physical form, you still exist like you always have, because you are ever living. Now, when we pray for the departed, we can send all our love, our light, our blessings, our prayers, and they all definitely help. But I don't think any one of us can cause another soul, which is on its journey, to complete that exalted mission purely based on our prayers. But where we can help is to make the journey, the path easier, to facilitate the next step in completion of the journey, to endow peace and light through our prayers. That we can definitely do. But we can't walk their path, unfortunately. We cannot walk on the path of our loved ones. We can love our children very much, but we can't walk on their path because it's theirs to walk.
Next question. Do sins follow you?
Well, I mean, it's interesting what you mean by sin, because sin has so many connotations. We have the old school, Old Testament type definition of sins, which is you do wrong, you will be punished. If you do wrong, it's going to accompany you. And I think that these scriptures were revealed at a time when the human intellect was not as evolved as it is today. So they understood the language of reward and punishment. And as a result, the concept of sins, the concept of paying for your sins, the whole idea that you have to go through a punishment to atone for your sins, or you have to do things to atone for your sins. This was a concept which, if we take a few steps back, it's still relevant today, but not quite in that form. It's relevant where we need to understand the difference between what is right and what is wrong. We need to be able to correct where we are wrong. We need to be able to work with our karmic compass and our karmic experiences, which make us realize where we may have erred. And that may come through learning through different experiences, not directly related to that particular incident of the sin, but through something else we may go through. And we learn, and we grow, and we evolve. So I'm more a believer of, karma as a form of learning. It's a great teacher. How it teaches us is very much dependent on how we learn and how we don't learn. Sometimes it teaches us very gently because our awareness is much more heightened. And we may have started life at a certain awareness, but it gets more and more and more heightened. If we just don't get it, then, perhaps it comes down on us harder, or it repeats the same cycles more frequently with more painful consequences. So it has its own ways. But all I do know is that where we have erred, the process of karma, the teachings of karma, will help us realize and will help us resolve.
Now the question says, why huge population explosions? Question.
According to whom?
I'll get to the person asking the question.
That's a great question. But look, you have to think about, we're living in this tiny dot in the universe. We're practically insignificant. We're nothing in the universe. There's life, and there's 7 worlds, and there's dimensions of existence that would fascinate us as we begin to realize what they are through our meditation. And so on that basis, if you take this world purely as a closed system and say this is the only form of existence, then sure, I would ask that question. But look at the way our science is going. Do we have population explosion? Yes. Has nature managed to balance populations as over time, whether it be human beings or wildlife or any other creation? Yes. So today we are living longer. Medical science is advanced. The longevity of the human being is going to increase further and further with our science. But that is why we are also opening new frontiers in outer space. It's not inconceivable that 20, 30, 40 years from now, we will have established life in other parts of the universe, beyond the Earth. Then you may argue that we don't have enough population. So it depends how we define the boundary limits of what we're looking at. And I am a firm believer that day when we will begin to live beyond this earth is not so far away. But what will enable us to get there is when we as a humanity actually set aside a lot of our differences and come together with that oneness, with that force. That is what will enable us to live and create new homes and discover new homes beyond. People in Portugal may have talked about massive population congestion until Vasco da Gama went out and found new places on the earth. Why won't we go out and find new places beyond the earth? Good question to ponder.
Very interesting one to ponder over.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Do we have any chance for one more? So I'll give you the last one here. So it says, Dr. Amyn, can you please explain split personality or any mental illnesses in relation to spirituality?
That's a very deep question. I will need more time than I have right now, but let me try and be concise. Okay. You've got spirituality, which, if you look at the superconscious mind, you've got the soul, you've got that highest level of connection with your creator, vis-a-vis your superconscious mind, the infinite intelligence, the soul, and all the 10 faculties. So that is your broader strength and power of being where spirituality is concerned. Personality is very much a material level phenomenon. Personality is not derived or does not transcend from the material level into the spiritual realm because it simply can't. It is very narrow in its dimension to be able to even begin to pursue that vast, infinite space. So on that basis, I would say you have to look at spirituality and personality as very different. Personality is also a condition of how your life has evolved. Sometimes personality is also conditioned by your health, your mental health. It's conditioned by so many factors, your life's experiences. But spirituality must not be mixed with the two. Spirituality is so far beyond that personality and spirituality are almost one down here, one over there. But that being the umbrella that embraces it all. So you're talking about, the grand scheme of things and the object below it. So take care, stay blessed, and we will see you next Saturday for the Sharing Hope meditation. So stay blessed, stay safe, and be happy always. Be smiling always from your face, from your heart, and from your soul.